Hey there. Do you work for yourself and ever find yourself worrying about money? Scared because you don't have enough of it, or scared because you have enough right now, but you're not sure if you'll have enough later? If you feel that way, you're not alone. I have been there, and I think everybody who works for themselves feels that way. And that's what I want to talk about today. It's a little bit of a tangential topic, but I actually find it to be so relevant because we deal with money every single day in our businesses and how we feel about it. So today's topic, the thing that will set you free more than money when it comes to money. So I'm going to share a little bit about my experiences with this because, man, has it been a roller coaster. So I want to tell you about a really interesting experience I had about a year after I was in debt the first time. I talk about this debt a lot because the first time I went into deep debt, which was deep debt for me at the time, $40,000 in debt, that was a very pivotal moment in my life because it was so traumatic and it was very scary, and it caused me to do a lot of things that changed the trajectory of my entire business and life, actually. And I'm sure that anybody who's been in debt before can relate. I was in debt and I had all this fear. We all know what that feels like. Less than 12 months later, all of a sudden I'm out of debt. I have a lot more money. I don't owe any money, and I've gotten a lot of money coming in, and I'm able to go on vacation, all this stuff. And I stop one day and I'm like, I'm still scared. Why am I still scared? I got out of the debt. In fact, I feel almost exactly the same that I did when I owed $40,000. Now I have $40,000 and I'm still scared. And I realized that at the time I was scared because I was scared that I would not be able to keep producing money. I was scared that I would lose it. I just had all these fears around, okay, fine, it's okay now, but what's going to happen in the future? I don't know. And I realized that it was not tied to the number. And so for me, that was an incredibly huge revelation. Oh my God, I'm going to feel like this. Whether I have a lot of money or no money, I'm still going to be scared. I thought that making a certain amount was going to make me feel better, but it didn't. So I have gone through many processes working on realizing what that internal fear is. And I'm not a money mindset expert. I'm not a mindset coach or anything. There's lots of places to go for that. What I want to share with you is what really set me free in a more tangible way, because I think that it can help you guys. Hopefully it'll help set you a little bit freer from this and also help you feel better about investing in yourselves, because I'm a huge proponent of that. What really set me free in this situation was that it was not making money. It was being more and more competent at generating money. So the first time I went into debt because my business was drowning and we couldn't get clients, we owed $40,000 and we had zero cash. But since then, I've actually gone into way more debt and gotten out of it multiple times. I found myself 7 months pregnant and $75,000 in debt. But actually at that time, I was much less scared than when I owed $40,000 years before, when I had no baby on the way, than I was when I had $75,000 and was about to have way more expenses. So that doesn't seem like it would make logical sense, right? But when I was in $40,000 of debt, I didn't know how I was going to get out of it. And I had zero confidence in my ability to generate money. When I was $75,000 in debt, I had lots of confidence about how I was going to make it back. And I was right, because less than 12 months after that, not only were we out of debt, but I moved into a glorious fancy apartment. I had a baby. I had all these things 12 months later because I knew how I was going to generate that money. And I keep doing it for that reason. So now I know that I have a higher risk tolerance than most, especially when it comes to investing in my business and myself. But I want to tell you that's not a natural thing. That is a muscle that I have developed over years of investing and then making it back. And I keep spending money that I don't have to level jump because I'm an impatient entrepreneur, as I have said before. I don't have time or patience to wait until I have cash in the bank to make the business moves that I want. And not only am I impatient, and I think I'm going to get trolled for this because I think this is going to piss a lot of people off, but I don't think it would be financially savvy to wait until I had that cash, because there is a huge cost to waiting. And that's why I talk about opportunity cost so much. I have a degree in economics, and that's like the only thing probably that I tangibly remember from economics is opportunity cost, but it has influenced everything I do. There is a huge opportunity cost of waiting to invest in yourself, because back in 2014, I was in $40,000 of debt. I owed money. I didn't have a plan. I was going to make it back. But since then, I've been able to invest so much more heavily. Here are a couple of ways that I invest in myself. Some of them are obvious, right? I spend money on learning things and getting skills and getting my business more visible. I spend a lot of money on all these things because it will get me where I want to go faster. But there are less obvious ways that I invest in myself, and I would also consider these financial investments. I spend time learning things about how I can generate more money and be more successful. And that's a huge financial investment, because when you take time to work on your business, to work on your skills and abilities, you are not working with clients who generate money. So that's another place where you're really investing money, because you still got to live. This apartment doesn't pay for itself. So these are different ways that we invest in ourselves financially for a future payout. Now, these are not things that most entrepreneurs do, or at least most entrepreneurs don't invest in themselves as aggressively, I think, as I do, because it's really scary. And that's why I wanted to share this with you today, because I've learned that investing in my potential to earn more money later, I actually find that to be the safest investment I can make. And I feel like we've been taught that it's not responsible to spend money we don't have. And that's 100% true in a lot of situations. And I don't want you to take these, Pia said go spend a bunch of money on things we don't need. No. If you're spending money on fancy things you can't afford and you have no way to pay for in the future, that is irresponsible. And I don't ever do that, because my favorite thing to invest in is my own business. But spending money on becoming more valuable and knowledgeable so you can make more and more money later by being better and better at your business, I literally don't think there is a way you can waste money on that. And I'm not gonna lie, but when I'm in the middle of a huge investment period, of course, I wake up wondering sometimes, oh my God, have I made a huge mistake? And I think that I have that fear even now, even though I'm so logical about it, because it's so ingrained in everyone. We have been trained to think that this is an irresponsible way to operate. But listen to this, like I have colleagues who own multi-million-dollar businesses who don't have the guts to invest in their business to take it to the next level. I've had colleagues say, if I spent the money, I know I would get this higher result, but I cannot stomach it. I had a colleague recently call me up for support because they were in the middle of scaling up their business. Their plan is to hit $1 million this year. But right now they're carrying a $30,000 balance on their credit card and they're terrified. She called me up for like moral support. And I said, I completely understand, but does that sound logical to you? Of course not. That's not logical. That's completely emotion. They're building a business. Even if it doesn't hit $1 million this year, it's going to hit hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're stressing about $30,000. That's so crazy. And I'm using these big numbers, but bring them down to make sense. If you're trying to hit 6 figures, or you're trying to get from 70,000 to 150,000, you're trying to double your income, a couple $1,000 investment in your business, that is pennies compared to where you're trying to go. I think that we've all been raised with this like kind of crazy in us and this emotional part in us. And I think we confuse debt and investment. We confuse the irresponsible behavior of spending money you don't have on products you don't need. I agree, that's irresponsible, with the logic and responsible behavior of investing heavily in your most valuable asset, your ability to succeed and make money. That is the best thing you can invest in. I truly believe that. That's why I do so much teaching, because I want to help educate people to build on their own skills and abilities to succeed. So $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, what does it even matter if you're going to be able to make 2, 3, 5, 10 times as much as you're currently making? Logically, on paper, it makes total sense. So I want to encourage you to look at your business, look at what you could be making in the future, and ask yourself, how much would you be willing to pay to get there? How much would it be worth it to get there months or years faster? And here, I'm going to give you a little exercise. If I knew that I could make $100,000 a month in the distant future, and there was something I could buy that could get me to $100,000 a month in 3 months faster than if I did it myself, just 3 months faster, how much would it be worth to pay for that, to get to $100,000 a month 3 months faster? It would be worth up to $300,000. Do you see that? $300,000. Now, you nor I would ever pay $300,000 to get that thing. Of course not. That sounds crazy. But that's because we make investment decisions based on emotion instead of logic. I spend a lot of money on my business, and sometimes it's a waste. I'll be honest. I spend money on things, I can't believe it, that didn't work at all. But sometimes it catapults me to new heights. And I don't let the experiences of when it was a waste stop me from doing it over and over again, because the times that it does catapult you to different levels, that makes all the investments, good and bad, totally worth it. For those of you who are poker players out there, and I love a good game of Hold'em, it's the same kind of thing. You can't always hit the cards, but if you play smart and you play the hands that you're most likely to hit, overall, you're going to come out on top. This goes back to an article I wrote a little while ago about taking the shots. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So the question is, are you hitting enough shots that you can hit a home run with some of them? And that's what I want you to think about today. I want to encourage you. I'm using these big numbers just to be dramatic. This is true down at the $5,000 level, at the $1,000 level. Like, how are you investing in yourself? And are you taking a logical step back and looking at the numbers instead of letting your emotions and fear that we are constantly bombarded with dictate those? I've been very selective about the clients that we take on because I'm investing in something new that is very scalable. And every hour that I spend on a client right now is an hour I'm not spending on this scalable thing that will be worth so much more money. Logically, my friends with multi-million-dollar businesses have said, I would just take the cash. Are you really going to turn down $20,000 to work on this thing that's going to give you money in the future? I said, logically on paper, mathematically, it's smarter to do that. Emotionally, it's hard because I don't want to turn down $20,000, but logically it is. And I pride myself on trying to always be pragmatic and logical and to spread the message. I'm sure some people will not like this video, but that's okay. I welcome your feedback and your thoughts.